BNN.
Do 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 do.
BNN.
Do 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 do.
BNN.
Do 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 do.
Hello and welcome to Big Nostalgia with me, Vicstar.
And me, Hadoenk.
Today, Mario Kart 64.
Start your engines, because we're going to be looking at the development of this game. Does it still hold up today? And what other opinions do we have on it?
Beep, 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 dee.
So actually, this was, compared to the last few games we've done, because Perfect Dark, Tom and Jerry, not really a Bug's Life,
No.
but they were, well, Tom and Jerry and Perfect Dark were slightly later on N64 games, but Mario Kart 64 was quite early on. It was released in Japan in December 1996. It wasn't released in North America until the following February, and wasn't released in Europe until the following June. Part of the reason for that was that at the time, due to release dates in different regions, Japan actually needed the release more because they actually had less N64 games at the time.
Oh, okay, then the Westerners.
Yeah, and also there was games took longer to localise back then as well. So EU games always took the longest because they weren't, North America is just English, and EU was, I think at the time it was only English, French, Spanish and Italian.
Okay.
Because it was only in the 3DS years that you started getting Russian and Polish. But anyway, so that was made it quite an early game. In fact, so it was actually planned to be a launch title for the N64, but it was delayed when the release of the N64 came close because more support had to be moved into development of Super Mario 64, which we all know is the main launch title for the system.
Yep.
And it's unsurprising that in the last few months it was all hands on deck for that.
Yeah, being the launch title for a brand new console, there's always hands on deck and making sure that it's perfect or close to. I mean, launch title is always a bit iffy.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be the statement as to what your console can do.
And this is the game that we're going to base all other games on this console.
Especially the N64, when it was the first
one
3D console.
Yeah.
It was directed by Hideki Kono. So he's had quite a long career at Nintendo. He's done a lot of the Mario Kart games, but he also did F-Zero X.
I liked F-Zero X.
He's also worked on the Zelda series as well. So he's had quite a few prominent roles as director, associate producer, things like that across.
Had his hand in a lot of things.
Fingers in many pies.
Yeah, worth doing in that sort of business.
In this case, the pie was shaped like a car.
So the storyline. You start the race, you do a certain amount of laps, and then hopefully you win the race. Storyline!
Unlike the sports games, I don't think the Mario Kart games have ever had any attempt at story.
No, they really haven't.
The sports games at least have been oh yeah, there's a tournament, and Wario and Waluigi are pissed off that they weren't invited, so therefore they're crashing the party. And
I mean, even the party games, it's we all want to have
who's the superstar?
Who's the superstar? Who gets, their name named after the world, and Bowser's being a bit of a dick again, but in this is the only time where Bowser and Mario come together to race.
Well, it was the second one in the series, so it'd been a few years since Super Mario Kart, which was on the SNES.
That must have been quite simple.
Well, it was using the specialist graphics chip, the same kind of style they did for. Well, it was simple in a respect, but it was kind of weird because it was all sprites. So it was all very specifically programmed to give a pseudo 3D effect. So obviously the car was just a sprite turning and then the track was turning around it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was after the development of the original F-Zero.
Would that have been on arcade games?
No.
No.
That'd have been different.
But it's that sort of esque.
Yes, there has been Mario Kart arcade games, but that hasn't been since that's been the last few years.
Yeah.
So it's been more based off the more recent games and obviously 3D polygons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this game was actually being developed under the title of Super Mario Kart R.
Okay.
R standing for rendered, because it was going to be for the first 3D Mario Kart game after the Super Mario Kart. But then it was changed to Mario Kart 64 to put it more in line with Super Mario 64 and Star Fox 64, which made sense. So the other karts are using pre-rendered stripes to simulate 3D characters, because whilst the N64 hardware could generate the 3D character driving around, the hardware was not good enough to have all 8 races on screen at once.
Oh,
So
okay.
actually the races you see in Mario Kart are all flat 2D models. They're just changing based on your angle to them, so that they look 3D.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite well done then, like technology to give that illusion.
Yeah.
To work with the hard drive that they had.
Yeah. So actually they were still sprites.
Because they never relied on the memory pack, did they? But I suppose it came out, way too early. So I think that's another benefit of the earlier stuff, that you never had to even consider the memory game, the memory pack, because I have said in earlier episodes, I hate that memory pack. It sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
I can understand why, but it sucked.
It was bad. Why did you do that?
I understand, but no.
Don't do it. So, part of this game, because the original roster for Super Mario Kart was Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Bowser,
all the classics, yeah.
Koopa Trooper.
Okay, he doesn't make it
and
into that one.
Donkey Kong Jr.
Why not Donkey Kong?
So actually, in this game, they replaced Koopa Trooper with Wario.
Which I think makes sense.
And actually, in development, the 8th character was actually Kamek, or a Magic Koopa. So, the blue robes and the wand.
Yeah, really?
So he was the 8th character.
So Donkey Kong wasn't really supposed to be in that?
So the thing is, it's a bit of speculation, because the 3D model for DK was provided by Rare, so it could be he was just a placeholder whilst Rare did that for them. But actually, one of the interesting things when I was on the cutting room floor, you'll probably hear us mention you've probably heard us mention a few times through the series, but they do really good work.
Check them out.
Looking at old code and stuff like that. But on the debug menu for Mario Kart 64, basically all the race tracks are like rooms of numbers, basically, and you can instruct the game to go to that room and it'll do that race.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Jungle, which was DK's Jungle Parkway, is the last race course listed. So part of makes me think that must have been quite late in development compared to
kind of added on sort of thing.
That his course got added in. So it's very difficult to say how late in development it was moved from being Kamek to
I've always thought of Donkey Kong as one of the kind of main cast, quote unquote.
staples.
But he's always been kind of like the edge of the main cast, kind of like added in to make up numbers.
Especially in that kind of period of time, because until Donkey Kong Country, he'd just basically been the Donkey Kong arcade games.
Yeah, so and I suppose that was a very kind of like the model of him in that was just a giant monkey with no real physical.
So he was reinvented
definition.
For Donkey Kong Country, and that reinvention has kind of kept with him ever since. And Rare
and brought him up.
Yeah,
love Rare. We love you, Rare.
And
You're
then
awesome.
Rare were asked to provide his model for
they were awesome. What?
Provided that his model for Mario Kart 64, and then he was the 8th character in the roster.
I suppose that helped him being in the roster for like later games such as Mario Party and stuff like that.
That's the thing. It must have been part of a larger discussion.
I wonder if they ever discussed a race concept where you had to race up to Bowser with the princess court or something, because they've never really tried to put a storyline on the racing car game. It's just been a racing car game with your favourite characters, which I think is quite nice.
Especially nowadays when you have like the baby versions of all the characters.
Which is very questionable.
Yeah, it's like time paradox.
Questionable.
Mario needs to be very careful not to accidentally get into a fender bender with his baby self, because otherwise he stops existing. And
Link with the horse motorbike, but not a horse motorbike. The Eponia bike.
It's
the Hyrule. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, dudes. It doesn't make sense. That's the one. But it has a horse face.
It does have a horse face. It sounds like an insult.
Or like a horse's head just stuck on the front. Anyway, we're digressing. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really good, easy play, and like the difficulty levels. I mean, in later games they've really played with like the size of the character, the type of car and bike, and now even in the latest one, the flying concept. But in the earlier games, you got a car, you got a character, didn't matter their size, and you just kind of played.
Well, in this game you still had the 3 weight classes.
Did you? I never really thought they played into affecting the racing. That was more for the battle.
So you had the lightweights, which were Peach, Toad, Yoshi, which had high acceleration but a low top speed. The mediums were Mario and Luigi, and then the heavies were
Donkey
DK,
Kong,
Wario,
Bowser. Bowser and Mario.
And they had the low acceleration but the highest top speed.
I did not know that.
And then obviously it did play into the battle, because if you ram into someone very hard, they spin. As Bowser or DK or something. So you all trying to go for the heaviest character. I never really thought of Bowser
and Wario as slow, or Peach as fast. I've never really thought of that.
Yeah, I think there's more of a concept of like speeds in like the later games.
Yeah, and a bit more concept of size. Like
part of that could be just the fact that the Mario Kart 64 was programmed with what's called rubber band AI.
Oh, so the ones behind you have to be a certain distance from you.
Yeah, that's why no matter what you did, second and third would always catch up.
Yeah,
because there's like really screwy
which
stuff.
Which is really annoying.
Yeah. So it meant you could never lose them, and it was basically meant to create like almost a pseudo-competitive atmosphere, because you could never technically lose your second and third competitor, but they would
annoying.
Still catch up. Yeah, so it wasn't really like you could drive as well as you want, but they'd still probably catch you.
Yeah, but I did like the levels they had, and I liked the way that you could unlock them. That was always an early concept of the game, even before unlocking characters. You couldn't unlock... Am I getting this wrong again?
Actually, Mario Kart 64 is notable for having the least amount of unlockables to date.
Yes, but it still had unlockables, so I was still right. Yeah, drop mic.
No.
Oh.
The only 2 things you could unlock in Mario Kart 64 was mirror mode.
Okay.
And the replacement title screen.
Oh. I thought you had to unlock the levels.
In literally, I think most other Mario Kart games you did, but this had the least amount of unlockables.
What, Becky? Knowledge is power.
You tried.
I did. Knowledge is power.
You can tell that we trust each other with the research on this show, because one person will say something, they'll go really, and then say something wrong. The others will no.
But I really enjoyed playing the different levels. All the levels were very engaging. Although I think there should have been a more a result for getting gold and everything, rather than just a changed title screen.
Yeah, so from if you're 100% kind of completionist type
gamer,
then it really didn't give you much. It gave you mirror mode, which was alright, but it was just 150cc, but everything was now mirrored. And then doing that all gold just gave you like the Kalamari Desert title screen. Yeah,
which wasn't really... But I suppose I'd rather them make a good game than focus on benefits and extra bits, you know?
Yeah, and also one of the things when I was researching this, I was looking through all the different like the track names, and Kalamari Desert just stood out to me as being the weirdest name for a level.
Calamari.
Because calamari is squid.
Yeah.
And it's just a desert with a train in it.
Might as well have been called like Choo Choo Train Desert or something like that, rather than...
Like, because you've seen...
Is there a squid driving the train that we never meet?
Because you had like Choco Mountain, but that was like a brown mountain level.
Could have been something else.
I suppose there was Frap Snowland, which was like the snow level. But even that makes a bit more sense.
And Icy Peak, the penguin level, what was that?
Sherbet Land. Sherbet Iceland?
Yeah, but how does that make sense with the penguins?
Well, that's true. It was just weird, man.
Maybe when they created the levels, they were all at a dinner, and they're just like, what name shall we name this level?
You need to have these levels...
Kalamari Desert. Oh, sherbet ice cream for pudding. Sherbet ice. It makes sense. I can imagine that. That is now my new conspiracy theory for this game.
It's like, you've had all day to think of these level names. What is this one called? It's like,
Calamari.
Kalamari Desert. Okay, I'll let you go with that one.
It actually flows, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If that's an okay balance. Flows, no sense. Flows, no sense.
But yeah, it was... yeah.
But, of course, the other mode that you could play with in this game, I don't know if you could play with it with the first Mario Kart, was the battle mode.
Yeah.
Could you do that in the first game?
Well, the first game was only 2-player anyway. There was battles, but this was the first game to be 4-player.
Four-player battles. Now, I like the battle concept. I thought it was very enjoyable as an added bonus. I mean, they could have held it back, and then once you got gold and everything, then you got the battle mode. But that would have been a little bit frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, there was certain fun to unlockables, but at the same time, if you get a game like on Christmas and you just want to play it, you want a certain amount to be able to do.
And a bit like my my logic behind Perfect Dark. I mean, you just want to beat up your brothers on a computer, really.
I remember once we did a battle mode with who could
die the quickest.
Yeah, and we just ended up on skyscraper, just reversing off the edge. And
it was literally down to second timing, whoever reached the bottom first. That was fun. We have fun. It's like, haha, you won.
We did this game for GBK as well. You can look it up. There's a 6-part series where we race through Mario Kart 64.
Woo!
Anyway, with that bit of shameless plugging out of the way, the soundtrack was composed by Kenta Nagata, which was his first work on a Nintendo game. It's been released on disc and cassette tape 4 times over the years in North America and Japan.
Wow.
And then again it was released in Japan as a part of a free disc set with Star Fox 64 and the Super Mario 64 soundtracks.
I think all the soundtracks are pretty decent.
Yeah, no, it's one of the things that's a bit annoying is that Europe's got pretty bad soundtrack distribution compared to America and Japan.
The immediate one that comes to mind is Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
That was kind of iconic, and I mean, was Rainbow Road a part of the original Mario Kart?
Yeah.
And it was developed.
Flat.
Oh, okay.
All the levels in the first Mario Kart were flat.
So the fact that I think Rainbow Road was done quite well for quote unquote the hardest level in the game, and it has been developed into the hardest level in the game in future ones.
50cc, it took you about 7.5 minutes to get round the 3 laps of it.
But with the pictures in the sky as well for a 3D but not 3D concept, and with the chomper in the middle of the road and everything, I thought it was very nicely done, and the music was nice and light, and I'm on a rainbow, and
you've reached the final level.
Yeah.
Although a lot of the tracks use the same theme, there were a few standout ones, which was Rainbow Road, Bowser's Castle. Royal Raceway used the same as basically the stadium theme. But yeah, amongst just one more thing on the levels, there's only been one race course and one battle course that hasn't been used as a retro stage in a future Mario Kart game. Do you care to guess which each one is? You might not get the battle one, but you might get the race course.
No, tell me.
So it's Wario Stadium.
Yep.
And it is Double Decker, which is the one with all the levels.
Oh, yeah. I did like that concept, though.
Yeah.
With the different levels that you'd have to try and make it up those little small ramps. And
so this was the one with the big hole in the middle, not the one with the 4 different colours. The one where it was all green.
Oh, okay.
You know the one I'm talking about?
I think so. I like the one with the levels.
This one still had the levels, but if you were at the top, it was just an open square in the middle, and then you had to work your way up around the outside.
Oh, okay.
It was a bit of a maze.
Yeah. But, sorry, my point from the different coloured ones, you'd literally go to the top, get some green shells and just shoot them down at anyone who's...
To be fair, you could do that in the Double Decker as well. There was just that little bit at the bottom, which basically became a green shell minefield.
You'd literally fall down and you'd be like, quick, move, do. It's funny.
Yeah.
Totally.
Part of the visual design that was changed is that originally the billboards that you see in the game were going to be parodies of real life brands.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting concept.
You had one which was Mario Row, which was designed like the Marlboro logo, as in cigarettes.
As in cigarettes. Oh.
Because back then, obviously, cigarettes were not the social.
That
taboo.
wouldn't have aged well.
Yeah.
Oh God, that wouldn't have aged well.
So you had one that was designed as Yoshi One, which was based off Mobile One, which was a automotive company. Well, I think it's more of a fuel company.
I'm so glad they didn't do this.
Luigi, which is Agip, which is an Italian automotive fuel company. One that actually remained in the game, but under a different design, with Cooper Air, but originally it was designed like the Goodyear logo, as in tyres.
Okay.
And another one, which got redesigned and left in the game, was a 64, but it was designed like the 76 chain of gas stations, which is, I believe, either American or Japanese chain of
I think it's an American, yeah, I know
chain
the
of
ones you
gas
mean.
stations.
Oh,
So they were going to
okay.
actually, one, they didn't have the rights, and
Yeah.
two, so they got changed for like rather
Just like
tame.
Mario, yeah.
Yeah, Mario, Luigi,
Oh my god,
Yoshi,
imagine if they had had the cigarettes. That would not have aged well.
Yeah,
Let's just put that down. Oh god.
So
I'm glad they changed. Yeah, changed for the better.
Yeah,
Wow.
so as interesting as it is to like
Look it up. You're just like a tiny bit horrified.
Yeah, I suppose it was just a
Different time.
yeah. So some interesting stuff that I looked up. Well, I was able to find out when I was doing like the research, is that CPUs. There's like different chances of you getting items and CPUs getting items.
Yeah.
CPUs have chances of getting shells, but CPUs never use shells.
Oh.
So they can get them, but they don't use them. They only ever use like their bananas and like
Yeah.
boosts and stuff.
Sometimes they shoot shells, don't they, behind you? But they never.
Not in that game.
Oh, am I thinking more up-to-date games?
Yeah, it's pretty sure it's that they could get the shells, but they just couldn't use them. If that is not 100% correct, do correct me in the comments. And also, you know Luigi Raceway, there's the balloon.
Yes.
There is a item box underneath.
Yeah.
Apparently getting that every time will get you a Thunderblock, get you a Thunderbolt.
Ah.
But as a result, it's really difficult to get.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten it.
I think I've got it once, but not consecutively.
But yeah, looking over like different videos and stuff when I was looking at this, there are a few levels that have. This is from Boundary Break, which is a really cool show where they just basically take the camera anywhere, just to see what's out of bounds, basically what you shouldn't be able to see. And there is, in both Luigi Raceway and Big Donut, which had been previously reported on by Cutting Room Floor, there are just item blocks underneath the stage.
Are there?
Yeah, just clearly left there from testing or like designing. So that was like really interesting as well. And then Legacy. It was really interesting looking back at like old reviews of this game, because there are a few reviews at the time that said they were disappointed with Mario Kart 64.
Seriously?
Saying it
I
wasn't.
thought it was a great game.
Saying it didn't do enough to improve on the original.
But
so bear
it
in
went
mind,
from a
went from a 2D game to a 3D
3D
game. All the tracks in the first game were flat, and this was different heights and gradients and
They
stuff.
also added on the amount of players that you do
To
the
4.
mirror and to the mirror mode, plus the amount of playable like the character options. So of course you got DK and Wario as well as everyone else, and the
So the game
battle.
was,
It was
by a
like
lot
double
of-
the size.
by a lot of places, was obviously like praise, but it was interesting to see a few were like, oh, this reviewer said he was disappointed, didn't seem to do enough to differentiate.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Which, when you think of nowadays, like how some sequels put in so little of an attempt to be different.
Yeah.
And like the Mario
I
Kart
think-
series has been one that has constantly added new stuff. And I mean, there's
I'd have more critiques on the modern Mario Kart series rather than the originals, because I feel that it got to a certain point and the only thing they could think of doing was making it, defy gravity.
they just made it F-Zero X.
Yeah. Which was an awesome game.
Yeah. No, I really, to be fair, Mario Kart 8 is probably the best Mario Kart game. Like, possibly just because it's got the new tech around it, but at the same time, the zero gravity combined with the flying and the underwater
Just brings another element to the whole gaming experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, there's later games may have like better music and like possibly better tracks. Some of these tracks I still love. Like,
Do you like the fact that old tracks have been redone for new?
in most
To a degree?
cases, yeah, because like the one thing I did like about Mario Kart 8 is all of the retro tracks were really given a good redesign.
Good cleanup.
Like
a
a good because I found in the Wii version they still looked like they were just ported over and just slightly updated, whereas this they were just completely redone.
But do you feel they had to be because of the whole 2D, the whole
between
defy gravity stuff?
In some cases, because the SNES ones, for some of them, they lifted up sections of the track. But other ones, they just didn't have because the gravity thing didn't need to be in every level.
No, I suppose. It's just, I haven't played the Mario Kart 8 as much as you have.
Yeah.
So my feel of Mario Kart is still more the 64 version.
Yeah, and there's been some versions that have added more than others.
I can definitely say that, of course, the graphics and the design and everything has been completely updated. But, I don't know, it's a good little, mess around game, isn't it? And definitely for when we were growing up, it was one of those easy play, everyone can play, and just annoy everyone.
How many of the tracks can you name? There are 16 total.
Sherbet Island? No. Kalamari Desert. Ha!
We're just talking about the ones we've talked about this
Yeah,
episode.
maybe. A Mushroom Kingdom. No, Peach's Castle.
What was it called?
Peach's Castle.
No.
Oh. Bowser Castle.
I mean, Bowser's Castle's in every game.
Yay! Me don't have no memory.
So it's called Royal Raceway.
Oh, okay. Oh, Mario Raceway as well.
Yeah.
Yay. 2.
I mean, okay.
Yoshi's Island? No, Yoshi's Cavern? Valley.
Yeah.
Yay!
Because it was a maze.
That's free. That one was an interesting one. I like playing that one because, of course, the whole question mark thing.
Yeah, no, and it's a bit disappointing that when they brought it back for a future game, they didn't replace. I would have loved to have the question mark still on over everything.
Rather than knowing, because that was a nice element to the game that was only special for that game.
It was one of those things back before the internet. You'd argue over what the fastest route was. You'd be like, "No, this way's quicker, I swear," and then. You'd be like,
you'd never know.
You're like, oh, I can see someone ahead, but is that this person on the board? Or
is that
this
first
person?
or second?
Yeah.
Definitely on an internet scale, like playing it over on the internet and with people around the world, it'd be a great one to be like, am I 4th? Am I 10th? I don't know. Let's
Has
just
he
race.
Me?
Let's just race. I'm first. How did that happen?
Yeah. So that was a. But no. So under the Mushroom Cup.
Oh, Wario.
I mean. If we start from the beginning.
Okay,
Luigi Raceway.
Yeah.
Koopa Troopa Beach.
Okay.
There was Kalamari Desert was the 4th one.
I knew that one.
Oh, and Moo Moo Farm.
Yeah, that one was a good one.
So
those cows are annoying.
Then it was the...
And gophers. Why gophers?
Flower Cup.
Okay.
Toad's Turnpike. The motorway.
Was that the Flower Cup?
Yeah.
I felt that was further down the line.
That was the second one. Choco Mountain.
Yeah.
Frapp Snowland or whatever it's called. And Mario Raceway.
Yep. Now Wario Raceway. Wario.
That's the first one of Star. Wario Stadium.
That's the one.
Royal Raceway. Sherbet Land. And Bowser Castle.
Yeah.
And the Special Cup.
Rainbow Road. I know that one. I'm up to 4.
Do you know what the other 3 are?
No. Oh, DK's land. DK.
Jungle Parkway.
Jungle Parkway.
We just literally talked about one of the others. Yeah.
Yoshi's Valley.
And the last one. The last track.
I don't know.
Ghosts.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
You remember what it's called?
Ghost Valley.
Banshee Boardwalk.
Oh. Nowhere close.
That was the 16 tracks.
Yay!
And to be honest, I've always found it really interesting when you went on to Banshee Boardwalk after Yoshi's Valley. The colours and all the character heads and stuff all looked really vibrant after they'd just been question marks for a whole race.
Yeah.
Because you were used to them all being grey. And then possibly against the black kind of backdrop as well, them all the colours back.
Well, black backdrop, white ghost and brown sidewalk. Very kind of monotone compared to the colour schemes before.
And that track was actually composed using sampling from the Ghost track in the SNES version. So that kind of kept it going. And there's been some Mario tracks in the future that have done that, but I thought that's quite interesting. Using the old tracks to make the new tracks. So yeah. Mario Kart 64.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Peach!
And also, you've done it before, haven't you? When you finished 4th,
And it's like, doo.
you're like they do the award ceremony for 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, and then you stand in the
You're
background.
sat in the hill crying,
And then you get beaten up.
and then you get blown up.
Yeah, that's even better.
That might be one of the best like it's almost like an Easter egg, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's actually quite difficult to get 4th.
Like, consecutively, yeah. Because there's always going to be a computer who kind of, like, knocks you out just at the end. So...
Or, like, a computer will do something stupid like hit a banana skin, then you'll...
beat them, yeah.
Then you'll get third, and then you'll be third over.
But then you'll slow down and then someone else overtakes you. But then they both overtake you and then you're fifth.
And then you have to redo the race.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was always a bit funny. Yeah.
Go for 4th.
Go for 4th. Not first, second or third. 4th. That is your challenge, internet. So, that is Mario Kart 64 in a nutshell. Personally, really enjoyed playing the game as a kid. Got a lot of nostalgia memories from it. And they have done a really good thing with the whole concept as the consoles have gone through. But personally, it's still my favourite Mario Kart version.
Yeah, so whilst I'd say there's possibly other versions I'd put above it now, you always remember your first.
Yeah.
You always remember your first Mario Kart.
And it was a good game. How did we get that game?
I don't remember.
No.
It's like we say about most of these
It's
things.
like, I don't know.
We're talking about games from our childhood. They just kind of show up.
So we're just like, yeah, we'll play that. Never question it.
Yeah, we had decent number of N64 games. Enough for at least another season of this. Although we're not going to, do just N64 games forever. We played more than the N64.
So, next week we're actually talking about, if you know our other things on YouTube, our most favourite Nintendo 64 game.
Or is it?
Banjo-Kazooie!
It's probably the game we're known best for.
Because of Banjo-Kazooie Abridged.
But we'll be looking more into its development, into the different aspects, talking a bit more critically about than we usually do.
And a bit more in depth with the characters and any of the actual game techniques and stuff like that you might not know. So join us for that. I've been Vixter.
And I've been Haddoenk.
See you next week. Bye! Bien.
Do 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 do.
Bien.
Do 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 do.
Bien.
Do 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 do.
Big nostalgia.
Yeah.